my channel. So for today's video, I'm excited because I'm finally going to be filming a daily Pacman Frog routine. I guess is what I'm going to call this video. Basically, you guys have wanted to know what I do with Lemon daily in terms of her daily care, so that is what this video is going to be about. Quick disclaimer, of course, I do not handle my Pacman Frog daily. In fact, I only handle her whenever she needs to be weighed or I'm cleaning out her enclosure, and that is it. Other than that, I do not handle my Pacman Frog, and I also choose not to hold her with my bare hands. I do use reptile and amphibian safe gloves, which you've probably seen in other videos, so that is just a note that I wanted to say. Also, while this video is technically a daily Pacman Frog routine, I do not feed her every single day. Pacman frogs typically don't eat every single day when they are adults. They may only eat 2 to 3 times a week depending on your frog. Lemon eats about twice a week, so I am going to be feeding her in this video for you guys, but I did want to note that while I do mist her and spot clean her enclosure every day, I do not feed her every day, so that is something I also wanted to mention. I love Lemon so much. She is such a beautiful little bright yellow lemon blob, and I absolutely adore her. I know that she is a favorite of some of you guys too. She's really cute. It's so funny. People love Lemon just as much as I do, but what's funny is she really doesn't do much of anything. She's literally like a giant little yellow mouth, and I love it. I absolutely love that all she does is eat, and she's so funny. But it is funny how much you can love an animal that literally just sits and eats and doesn't really move around much. It's really funny. But I adore Lemon. I know you guys do too, so I do hope that you enjoy this Pacman Frog daily routine. So the first thing I do is I go in the kitchen and I get Lemon and Koa's worms out of the fridge. I keep their worms in this styrofoam container. It makes the worms live longer. You can get these containers, I believe at Petco is where I buy this, and it's just a big styrofoam container and it houses the worms for a really long time. So this is probably going to be pretty gross, so if you hate worms, turn away. They're not going to be killed or anything, but I do have to get them out of here. Another reason I love these styrofoam containers to keep the worms in, I reuse it, so I'll use this same container and I'll go to Walmart and buy her worms. And then I'll put her and Koa's worms in here and just store the worms in this container. And I only have to buy the styrofoam container once because it lasts a long time. And inside it looks just like that. So these are Koa and Lemon's worms. You can see them here. And then I have the worm tongs. Same tongs, always use them. And basically I just come in here and I usually pick Lemon either 1 or 2 of the biggest, juiciest worms. And that is what we are going to be using to feed Lemon today. I do wash the worms off because they do have the dirt that the worms come in, and I don't want Lemon obviously eating that, so I do give them a good rinse before I feed them to her. That's pretty much it. Now if I'm doing crickets, obviously you do crickets completely different. You're not going to store them in your fridge and stuff like that, but the worms do have to be in the fridge. I don't have any crickets right now, so we're just doing worms for Lemon today. Alright, so here we are. This is Lemon's enclosure. So I haven't spot cleaned her substrate. I haven't given her new water. This is basically me coming to her enclosure for the first time today. So the first thing I do obviously is I glance up here and make sure that her probe is on and not too hot. You can see her probe is reading 79.4, which is perfect. I usually keep it around 80. If it went over 80, her heat pad would shut off, so it's perfect. The probe is in this side over here next to the pad, so it's cooler over here in this side, which you can see that's where she is right now. I'll also touch my heat pad. It's fine. I can feel it's really warm, which is good. So I do this every day. I always check Lemon every day, even though I don't feed her every day. She only eats once every 3rd day, just about. Usually about 2 times a week is good for Lemon. And I usually try to alternate crickets and worms, but I've been out of crickets for a couple weeks now, so she's just been getting worms lately. So we are going to come in here. We're going to spot clean her substrate. If I see anything in here, like sometimes there'll be like little cricket legs, which is really disgusting, but it's got to be spot clean. Also, anytime she moves out of one hole to a new one, there's usually a turd in the old hole. I know that's super weird, but like when she poops in her hole, she'll move to a new one. So I always remove her poops. I'll remove anything in here that I see that just needs to be cleaned out. And then once I've spot cleaned anything, sometimes I'll also pull out like these long pieces and things. Like I'll pull that out of the substrate, any strings, anything like that really, just anything I see that's imperfections. And then I will go and I will toss her substrate. But I do wait to toss her substrate after I fed her, because if she sees me in here, she's gonna dive at my hands, which is funny, but it happens. And then of course, after I spot clean her substrate, we are gonna give her new water and rinse out her bowl and clean it out. You can see her bowl is really dirty. She obviously has gotten in here, which is good. I've actually seen her get in here a couple times in the past couple weeks, so that's kind of cool. But this does need to be cleaned out. It needs to be rinsed out, and then we will give her some fresh water. I have her clean dechlorinated water right here, and that's what we're gonna be filling up in her bowl. All right, so before we clean her substrate, we're gonna go on and get her bowl out of here, and we are gonna take it and rinse it out in the sink and clean it out really well. Just gonna rinse the bowl out really good with hot water. It's really hot. All right, that's good and clean. It's not slippery or gross or anything, so it is completely cleaned out. And now we can dry it off and put it back in her enclosure. I cleaned out her bowl really good. There is some discoloration, but this is a rock water dish, like real heavy rock. So it does unfortunately get discolored, but it is clean. Okay, so before we spot clean the substrate, I do go on and give her one worm first and let her start eating and digesting that worm. So we're gonna add a little bit of Reptivite to it. I always add Reptivite to her worms or her crickets. I'll dust her crickets with it too. I just put a little bit on there. I usually lightly dust her worms, just a little bit in the Reptivite, and then we're gonna go on and give her one. So anyone who is squeamish about worms, turn away. Here you go, Lemon. Good girl. And then you gotta wait for her to let go of her tongs. It usually takes her a second to let go of her tongs because she is very food aggressive. This is why it's so important to use rubber tongs. This is very common. She'll just kind of chomp on the end of them, and then when she's done, she'll let go. So while she's digesting her worm, I'll take her tongs, and then I like to go in here and I just like to take her substrate and mix it up really, really good. And I really just like to move around her Eco-Earth, like I said, spot cleaning it, taking out any impurities or anything I don't want in here, keeping her substrate moving around every other day to every third day, and making sure to keep it spot clean prevents molding. And because I have to have such high moisture in here, a lot of people have problems with molding in their Eco-Earth, but I don't have that problem at all in my hermit crabs or with her. Keeping it moist and mixing it around really helps and prevents mold or anything like that. So it's really good for Lemon. All right, so now that we've lightly fluffed her Eco-Earth and spot cleaned it, we're gonna go on and put her water dish back in here. All right, her dish is clean, and then I like to build the Eco-Earth up around the sides just a little bit, just so that she can get in and out really easily. And we're gonna give her some clean water. Good girl. And then we are gonna spray down her enclosure, and we're gonna spray her as well once we feed her her last worm. Lazy bite. Good girl. Good girl, Lemon. All right, so once we have fed Lemon, she's eating her last worm, and we've gotten her a clean water dish and some new water. We fluffed and spot cleaned her Eco-Earth. Now we're just gonna spray her down really, really good. And we're gonna spray the entire enclosure down really well. And that is it. That is my daily routine with Lemon, my Pacman frog. Alright guys, that is it for this daily Pacman frog routine. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments down below and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I adore Lemon so much. She is such a precious little yellow blob, and I know that you guys love her too, so I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Be kind. Bye.